Hi, I'm Julie. Welcome back to our Hobby Maker tutorial channel. Today we are going to do some fun folded cards and I'm going to show you how to make an easel card. So today we're going to make an easel card. You can do this on various different shapes, but once I show you the fold, you can then, like I say, cut in. You can do a circular one, ovals, diamond, whatever shape you want your card base to do. You can create this very simple easel fold doing that. And I have got a 6-inch card here. So I'm just going to get my bone folder and just burnish down the edge. And then what I want to do is score this front section in half again. So I'm just going to open it out, slide it along, and then I'm literally there just going to score down at the 3-inch, and then I'm going to fold that over, and that's going to create the base of your easel shaped card. So then the next thing I'm going to bring in is a 6x6 piece of card that matches, which is then going to create the front of our card. So I'm just going to move my trimmer out the way. What we need to do, you need to stick your 6-inch square to this piece at the front here. I'm just going to bring in some glue and I'm just going to pop my glue onto the actual base so that I know it's only going to be going where I want that top piece of card to stick. If I then bring in my 6-inch piece of square card, I can then lay that down, press it down in place, and I know that the glue is only in the place that I need it to be. You'll see then, if I pop that up, that has created that easel shape. So then what we need to do is decorate it up, and we need to create something onto this bottom layer to act as a stand so that we have something for the easel to press against. So I'm going to show you how to quickly do that. So I'm going to bring in some decorative backing papers. So I've got two different designs here. I've got a check and a football design, and then I've got a topper for my front, and then I've got a little sentiment and a border strip that I'm going to use for the inside, whereas like I said, this is going to create my stopper for the easel to rest against. So I'm just going to bring in my trimmer and trim my papers down to size. So what I want to do is create some mats and layers at this point. So I know that my card is 6 inches, so this is going to be my first layer. So I'm going to bring it in. I'm going to bring it in 1/2 inch. So I'm going to trim it down. No, I'm not. I'm going to go 5 3/4. So I'm going to trim it down to 5 3/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches. And that's going to create my first mat. So then for my next layer, which is going to be the ball design, I'm going to bring that one down this time and 1/2 inch. So I'm going to go 5 1/4 inches this time by 5 1/4 inches. But again, you can trim these down to whatever sort of width you like. So if you like a very strong border, you can come down in 1/2 inches. If you like a very slim one, come down in 1/4 inch each time. But that's just going to give me enough of a border then that I can see the paper behind, which is what I wanted. I'm now going to bring my card base back in, and I'm going to stick those down onto this front section, just making sure I was the right way up there. So again, I'm going to just bring in my glue. And using a wet glue sometimes is helpful at this point because it allows you, as you can see, I'm just sort of manoeuvring it just to make sure I've got an even edge all the way around. Once you're happy, you can then sort of go over and place that down. So then I'm going to then bring in my second layer. So again, I'm just making sure that I'm the right way up for this. So I'm going to bring my glue back in, just pop some more down, and then pop that down, making sure again that I'm sort of happy with the position, and I can sort of, like I say, using this glue I can give it a little wiggle where I want it to make sure I'm in position. which I am. So then that's created our front. So then what you can do on your inside then, you could decorate it with a layer the same as this design, or sometimes with the pieces that you've cut off, you can make use of those by putting those in and putting the borders into the inside, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to trim 2 pieces down just so they still give me a little white border on the inside. I'm going to go with, actually, let me just see how these are. So actually I might go with the 2 pieces I cut off. So if I trim this to 5 1/4, just so they line up, I can pop those in to the inside. So you'll see, I think I'm going to put the plaid at the bottom, because this is where my stopper's going to be, and put the piece with the balls in further up, and then I'm going to run my border strip across the centre. So I'm just going to stick those down in place, and again you can create your own design at this point. You haven't got to do it exactly as I'm doing. You could go with a completely new sheet of paper if you just want it all one design. I just find this is a really useful way of cutting off the excess that you've used, and put them up to each other just to make sure. And don't worry if you've got a slight gap, because obviously where we're going to put the border strip is going to cover that. So I'm going to do that now. So I'm going to bring in my border strip, sorry, not corner strip. So I'm going to bring in some foam tape, because I want this to be raised up so that when I pop that easel into place, it's going to have something to hold against it. And then what I would do is roughly work out where you need your foam to go to, and then trim it off, just so you're not wasting anything that you don't need to, because we're going to actually cut it off precisely where we want it to go. So if I just remove the backing from my strips, I'm actually going to run it from edge to edge. So I'm going to start here and run it all the way along, making sure I'm happy with where my position is, and then I'm going to just flip my card over, and I'm just going to trim it off now, flush with the side of the card. So then you can see then I've got that extra piece now to use on a different project. So that has risen up now, so I know that my easel's going to stand against that. But I'm also going to bring in a little sentiment as well. So again, I'm going to raise this up on top of the actual border strip. So I've just popped myself another little foam pad underneath that, and I think I'm going to pop that there. Okay, so then if I then come back to the front of my card, I've got a die cut topper, one of our hunky dory ones, that just matches those backing papers. So again, I want to just raise that up to give it a little bit of dimension. So I'm just going to pop myself some foam strips on the back of that, and then I'm just going to peel those sticky backs off. I'm then I think I'm going to position it slightly off centre to the side, because as it stands up then, I know that my sentiment is on the inside on this side. So I'm going to pop that down, and then I'm going to pop that up, and that's how easy it is to create our easel fold card.